Welcome back to another episode of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Chris,
yeah,
we had a break. It was nice. It was weird to not have something to do. I get the usual Sunday night. It's late, and my wife goes, "Don't you have your show to record?"
No show tonight? Yeah,
no. I got the week off, and she's like, "And you're not still doing it?" I go, "I know, right?" No. I said, "Chris, I think it's good for my mental health if I take the week off while you're on vacation." So,
yeah,
we're back.
We are.
God damn it, we're back.
Feels good. I've missed you.
I've missed you. I've legit missed you. And it's one of those things I'm like, you know what? I actively chose to not message you at all while you were on vacation. And even when you would reply, you would send me a message here and there. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. You deserve to be on vacation.
I only sent one text, right?
There was one.
I sent a picture of myself and said, I missed you guys.
Which you didn't mean. You didn't mean it. And it's like, well, if you want to send us, hey, got it. Thanks for all the shirtless pictures on your Instagram story and to us. Great. We get it. You're skinny, right? And then the other one where I felt like a sense of I'm going to get yelled at about the Cleveland CBX wedge release. So,
yeah.
I was like, do what you got to do, bro. Get them wedges. Let's get these wedges in Gear Talk.
There will be What's in the Box and a Gear Talk coming shortly.
You heard it here.
On the wedges.
Speaking of, subscribe to this here YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So when those videos come out, you'll get them in your feed. But if you hit that bell right there, it will go ding and it'll notify you that these videos are up. So check that out. Okay. But welcome back. This we didn't talk about. What do you want to get to first? The beer we're drinking tonight or the surprise bit?
Well, let's open the beer first before you get into the surprise bit.
You talk, I'll open.
So this is an Old Irving brewery beer. It's a limited release. Again, it's the what is it? The Krampus cookie. They make a couple different variants of these, but this is their sort of staple, their standard.
The barrel aged Krampus cookies 2021. I should have held the mic when.
We're rusty, man. We're rusty. But anyways, I've already had one. Look at that. Just an oil slick. That is. God, it really is. But I've already had one of these. They only come in 2-packs, so I wanted to make sure we save some for Grant. Is he holding that? We won't tell anybody. Yeah, but I'm excited for you to try it and for Grant to try it, for that matter, because.
I thought I saved him more than I did. Here, Grant.
All right, give him a swig of it. But yeah, have a drink of it and tell me what you think. Cheers, man.
You all right there, Grant?
Grant's a fan.
You just hear it in a light murmur off camera. Oh, this is what I said. All right, here we go. Whew.
Yeah.
It's delightful. We got an ABV on that, Grant?
I think it's around 15? 14. Yeah.
That'll wake you up, boys.
Yeah, but I find it to be, for 14%, it gives you the bit of a burn of the barrel, I think. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty creamy, smooth beer.
I would love to have Sarah on right now to sample it and be like, yeah, that's terrible. And it tastes like I dumped a bottle of teriyaki and soy sauce into like a root beer and told you it was good beer.
Right.
And I'd be like, you shut your mouth.
And every time I do that at home, I'll drink some. I go, ooh.
Yeah.
And then Zell will be like, oh, I want to try it. And still drink it like, oh, God.
Well, and it's funny because like if you really think about it, because oh, wow, that's great. Mm-hmm. And then they tell you their thoughts. You go, you know what? You're not wrong. You're like, I can't untaste that now.
Right, yeah. But, yeah, good beer. I like it.
It is good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
All right.
Okay.
I have something for you. Hold this.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
Went grocery shopping today, and young Liam saw this. And he said, Dad, can we get these? I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, the Christmas tree. Oh, you got white chocolate,
white chocolate. Yeah. Reese's peanut butter tree. I think we eat it now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
On the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
See how it goes with the beer.
it crossed my mind. It seemed like the perfect thing. Yeah. Delightful Christmas tree shaped white chocolate. Cheers.
That seemed good. A good white tree.
Really good. Yeah. People love when you do shows like this when you eat into microphones. It's just weird. Anyway.
That is good. That is a good treat.
What an unexpected bit.
Yeah.
But delightful.
Delicious.
All right. Enough joking around.
Yeah.
Actually, now I feel kind of bad for all this joking around. We have a serious topic.
No good segue to this one.
No. I really don't know what to say. I still don't. I wrote a blog about it when it happened, but Friday the 3rd.
Yeah.
Golf, specifically golf.
Every time.
Lost a phone. Don't kick the tripod this time. Golf lost a good one. The legendary putter maker, Byron Morgan, passed away. Mm-hmm. Well known for his custom flat sticks out there in Huntington Beach, California. Right. Moved to Georgia to be closer to his family, and his... Really, I want to say it's like only the last year, maybe. But
really?
He knew he was in bad shape and what have you. So, it's a lot you could say, a lot of detail you could go into, but this guy is so highly regarded in the world of like custom boutique putters. They say a lot of the greats that people spend thousands of dollars on their putters now learned what they learned from him. Maybe some did, some didn't. I don't know, but guy was no slouch with the old fly mill. Really good designs. Just one of the greatest humans in the world, too. I wrote a blog about it. If you want to check it out on driverangeheroes.com. My one interaction with him, I got it over here. Grab it.
We have an intern for you to grab stuff.
I thought about it, but it's like, you know what?
Stu, he's got other more important jobs.
Right. So I only custom ordered one Byron Morgan putter in my time, and tell the story about it. But what a weird experience! This guy was a legend to me in the. Everyone have a look at it.
I do.
In the custom putter game, and finally I'm going to get one. Right. So send an email. They had a whole order process on how it would work, and I fill out the form. I do everything you're supposed to do, and then one day
get this first run 615 there.
Yeah, one day we're like leaving to go to the grocery store or something, right? And it's a Saturday morning, late morning, and my phone rings, and it's Huntington Beach, California. It's not a number I have or anything. I said, well, all the golf brands. I'm a big time golf guy. Who knows who's calling me? That's like right. That's golf capital of America that way. He answered the phone. Is this Bill? It's Byron Morgan.
Are you serious?
Byron Morgan's calling me on the phone. And I know when he says that, it's probably related to my order because
but still.
He's just out of left field. Crazy. He's like, just had a couple questions about what you asked for and blah, 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 that kind of a thing. And so I answer him. He's like, and the other thing, I was looking at this, and I think if we did this, this, and this, it'd be better. You'll like it more. And here's why you should do that. This is why it makes sense. I was like, oh, wow, great. So talk to him, I don't know, 20 minutes, give or take.
Yeah.
And get it ironed out. I'm like, wow, that was fun. And very much you'll go read across the forums, everywhere you see people talking about it. He really made the people feel like they're a part of the process. And, wasn't just him being the genius that you trusted with your putter. Like, he included you and you felt special doing it, right?
Yeah.
What was interesting, toward the end of that phone conversation, he's like, so what do you do? Where do you live? How old are you? Just really friendly social chat. And I don't know what we talked about, but hang up, get in the car. My phone rings again. It's Byron. Hey, man, what's up? Thinking like, oh, I forgot about these things, whatever. Yeah. He's like, you were talking about XYZ. Can you tell me more about that? Wow, that's interesting. So what do you do with that? What's that like? And you're just asking me about it. I go, huh. He's like, well, I'm going to keep in touch with you. I'd love to know more about it. I never heard from him again about that, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
I wouldn't have. Right. But it's just so weird. Think about that for a second, where it's like he did the whole customer service thing and could have called it a day. And then something triggered in his head. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call that guy back and just chat with him about not related to my putter, not related to the money or anything.
Yeah.
Just, hey, I want to talk to you more about this cool thing, build that relationship." So it was cool. And I did interact with him via the website a few times in the later years. More so just like, "Hey, I really like your work. You're doing great stuff."
Yeah.
Happy to have a little bit of a relationship here. And I don't know. Go Google it. Byron Morgan putters and just look at all the things he's done over the years. He's got a great gallery on his site, but
you can read your thing in the description.
I do have a review of one of his putters here. In retrospect, it's like, I wish I knew. Apparently, so let's just say he's had some declining health for a while. When I posted this review way back when, he was in the midst of it, and I wish I knew at the time, because I feel like I would have approached it all very, very differently. But I said great things about it, but just sort of oblivious, like going on about our day-to-day lives. I guess that's a good lesson. Like, you really never know with anybody, anything. And even if it's like he didn't pass away, just stop doing it. One day, like the putter guy was just gone. You never know, right? So it's gonna be a tough one. He's one of the few where it's like, I like seeing every putter he makes. I still like getting jealous over whatever germanium stainless steel that somebody gets, or who knows what. But it sucks. Yeah, it sucks a lot. A lot of people are gonna miss him. Man, go read, go to Golf WRX, look at their forum. So many great stories of people who are like, "Yeah, I just went out there, said, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'd love to stop by your shop. Come on by. You see all the cool putters. You buy something that was like in his desk drawer." He's like, "Yeah, do you want it?" And people will be like, "Yeah." So I went there to just see his shop, talk to him. Next thing I know, we're going out for tacos at this local taqueria.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he you hear a lot of stories about how a lot of these putter makers are divas and sort of insufferable. Yeah. And that was not him. He was great, helped everybody, helped a ton of people in the business. Just a hero in golf.
He's a pretty
making.
Fascinating human. So, and he was like, if did you know where you got to start? Like, he didn't start in golf.
Yeah.
He started with surfboards and things like that. Yep. Like that. I wonder if that's why he was in Huntington Beach. Yeah. Because he originally, when he was making surfboards, like legitimate artist with his hands, designing things and making things from the jump.
You go with surfboards and fixing up like persimmon woods. And then I can't remember exactly. It's driving me nuts right now, but it's something like he had one of the first modern designs of a oversized metal driver.
Really?
Or something like that. Or he's highly influential and, they weren't ready for it yet. Yeah. But he had his hand in it. And he was like just a true artisan with his hands or whatever. He could figure it all out. And you talk to like Scott Redmond Concepts, those guys, they had a great relationship with him and stories for days. And they have some cool, like, Byron, we'll just say Byron paraphernalia memorabilia in their shop in England, which is, it's trippy when I went over there. You're just like looking around that place and find an old box and pull it out. It's just like some random Byron thing. And you're going, I'm 4,500 miles away from Chicago, which is about 7,000 miles away from California.
Roughly.
Maybe 10. Yeah. And like I'm looking at something from California here in the middle of Bristol, suburbs of Bristol, England. Yeah. But yeah, they have so many great stories with him, and he's the best. So R.I.P. Byron Morgan, one of the best to do it. Yeah, that's cheers to Byron. Yeah. Go find those putters on eBay too, and they're worth every cent. That's all I got to say. Byron Morgan. All right. I feel like we did a pretty good job not making it too sad,
I'm glad you pointed out to give him his shout out, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and get out of the way. God, he was so good. Yeah. I have a couple more Byron putters over here. I don't know what I thought we were going to do with them on the show. But they're just, thank you, Grant. Just look at these things. This thing.
Yeah.
All right. 612.
Yeah, here, let me see.
Yeah, you're in charge of that. Yeah. So good. Just such a good putter.
That is. I love the coloring. I love the colorway on that one. Oh, look at the Morgan on the back.
To be fair, that's not the colors it was when I got it.
I
painted it. Yeah.
Well done.
And now I
look
regret
at Surf
it.
City USA on the bottom.
Yeah. Killer face fly mill. So good.
Yeah, that is gorgeous, man. Wow.
This was one of my favorites. This was a signature face milling of his. The Twilight. It's like Twilight Zone-ish.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. That was his clever, it's ass steel. It's American stainless steel. That'll get you what's the difference between 303, 304, American stainless, German stainless? I don't know.
See, I should probably use this putter because you know what I putt like?
Ass. You don't, though. The show documents it. You don't putt like ass.
It's true. It's true.
And
just sometimes, I guess.
Noted. Byron was Welsh.
Really?
My wife is Welsh.
Right.
And actually, these old covers are cool. Welshman made.
Oh, that's super cool, man.
And he had a stamp of the Welsh dragon he'd putt. You saw a couple of those putters, but man, the guy, God, the putters are so cool. And I had other Byrons over the years that I bought and sold and whatever. And now, of course, I regret it, but such is the putter market.
At least you have them.
At least I have these ones. Not going anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Miss you, Byron. You're the best.
Yeah.
You're back. Tell us about your trip.
It's true, yeah. So you know how I love these trips where I come back, say, wait for the train to go by. But
it's gonna be a while. It's a freight train.
You know how I love these trips where I go away and I unplug and I just I always come back with new ideas, new goals, and all that. That's kind of what I do when I go
it's
away.
the worst when you come back. It's good for that. I'm glad to see you. And then when you go into I've been thinking mode, it's oh no.
But it's all, this one I feel was much more personal reflection and things so the biggest piece of it, even when I went, when I was in Hawaii and I was still in the States technically, so you get the normal signal, whatever. But when you go to the DR, obviously, you don't have great internet. You're on a beach anyways. You don't want to be on your phone. For those that don't know,
Chris went to the Dominican Republic for a week.
Sorry, yes. I went to the Dominican Republic, to Punta Cana, all-inclusive resort, which is the most wonderful place on earth. You plunk down your money a long time ago. We paid for this, a month ago.
Right. So
when you get there,
right, you're long past the regret and remorse. Yeah.
But everything's free at that point. Free, right? Yeah, all the drinks you can drink, all the food you can eat.
When you look at it, it wasn't that expensive.
Right.
Right.
It's the greatest. Anyways, so a lot of it was behind the scenes from a social media perspective. I'm making some decisions from social media, which I can talk about. Just some I just want to remove noise. And I don't want, you question, why am I following XYZ on social media? They don't enhance anything, and
they don't spark joy.
Or interest. They don't write anything that's interesting. They don't do anything that's interesting. Maybe it's from a past sort of life in the golf world, right? And you're just okay, I'm done with this. So a lot of that, I have decided that, I'm going to relearn Spanish. I've already downloaded Duolingo.
I could see that when you're in a place where they speak it, and you're I forgot this was nice to have.
I took some classes. I took 3 years worth in high school. Took a year in college, and then just shoop, gone.
Oh, yes.
And then I was trying to talk to that. It was no, you know what? I'm going to come back more prepared next time. So I'm going to do that. And then the more exciting thing for me, anyways, I think I had this on the list. I got to tell you about the book I read too, which is insane. I'll do that first. So I read this book called Dead Wake. It was the last journey of the Lusitania. The Lusitania was like the Titanic, basically. It wasn't owned by White Line. It was owned by this company called Cunard. But it sailed, New York to Liverpool, Liverpool to New York, right? Back and forth. And in early 1900s. And during World War I, it was sunk by a German submarine.
Right.
1,200 people died, I think. Kids were on it, women, it's just horrible. Infants, the whole thing. It's terrible. 700 people survived out of the 2,500 that were on the boat. But World War I was crazy.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Because this book, like, it's by Eric Larson, who wrote Devil in the White City.
Eric Larson has written so many great books.
I've read Devil in the White City 3 times. Like, it's just an incredible story.
Yeah.
And he does this amazing thing. For those that don't know Eric Larson, he takes an actual event that happens and does a ton of research, and then he writes the story about it, tells the story. But he also, like, it's like 3 separate stories going around because he wrote about Woodrow Wilson a lot. Which was crazy because his wife died while he was in office, and he got remarried while he was in office. Can you imagine that today? Can you imagine something like that happening today? Like, just crazy.
A lot of comments that I'm not going to say.
Crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so like things like that, first of all, but then he also writes about, obviously, the boat, and then he also writes about the sub, the U-20 that was going around. And like the Germans, man, they were just ruthless in World War I. Like, they discovered chlorine gas, and they started sending it into the trenches and just drowning troops, you know, from the UK or whatever, you know, they had these dugout things. So yeah, and then they decided.
Turns out they're pretty ruthless in World War II as well.
Yeah. Which is interesting because they touch on that a little bit, like this growing thing. Like after he tells the first story, people start to notice like something's going on again in Germany and Austria.
Did they talk about in that book at all? I read something about this. It was like post-Civil War, maybe like 1880s. And Germany was like, hey, we need to be recognized as a world power and a world dominant, have world dominance. And they were looking for a major power somewhere in the world that they could basically go invade and destroy.
Yeah.
And they saw us like we're coming off the Civil War. We're not exactly stable, but the Industrial Revolution's happening, Ford, all that stuff's taking place, and they're like, that's it. And so they started all the whole they'd sail the submarines over and they'd sneak onto our shores, and they were espionage everywhere.
No, they didn't talk about that.
Okay,
that's pretty interesting too. Yeah.
I don't know all the details, but it's like I've read a little bit about it, and it's fascinating because basically they wanted to come and get the States like right around 1900 just to like show the world they're big and powerful. Yeah. And I forgot why like it didn't work out or whatever, but I'd be interested to see like how that all fits together.
It's just a fascinating the whole and then the U.S. I think a lot of times you forget. We've gone overseas and we understand sort of the enormity or the influence of America like around the world, right? Like when you go I go to Italy or go to Rome or whatever, like people are talking about the U.S. Like it's a big deal, and I think people just don't realize necessarily all the time. Like, we're a really big deal. We were back then too.
And there was this guy named Michael Jordan,
right? But yeah, there you go.
I didn't even mean to do that.
Yeah, but we were neutral. We were staying neutral as much as we possibly could. We wanted to stay out of World War I. We're like, whatever you guys are doing, we don't want to be a part of it. Meanwhile, the rest of the world, the allies, are like, guys, little help.
Right.
Like we're dealing with these psychopaths there. And at some point, Germany was like, we're going to sink any ship that comes into the war zone. We don't care who it is, where it's from. And so they just started doing that. And even after, there were 150 Americans on the Lusitania, Woodrow Wilson still didn't want to be a part of it. He was like, nope. We didn't join. And maybe this is common knowledge. I don't know. I didn't know it. We didn't join World War I until there was a message intercepted that Germany had reached out to Mexico and said, if you join our team, if you join, the Axis or whatever they were called at the time, we will help you reclaim Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. So they were making this deal in Mexico.
I didn't know that. Or if I did, I forgot it.
Yeah, like, so they said, if you help us, we will help you invade America. Basically what they were saying. And then finally the U.S. was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then we got in there and ended the damn thing already. Only for, whatever it was. But the U.S. was only in the war, I think 2 years. Okay. It was a 10-year war or something. Yeah. We were only at the tail end of it. And then again, 20 years later, it would start back up. Yeah. But just a great, he's a great writer. He did a great job. It's a crazy story. I can't tell you how many times I put the book down. I was like, what?
And you were like, Zell, you got to try this roasty barrel-aged stout.
When I told Zell, she's like, what are you reading? And I was like, I'm reading the story. I told her the thing. She's like, you're on a beach vacation. You're reading this morbid book about death and war. And
does she know you?
Yeah, like that's my jam, man. That's what I do when I'm on vacation.
You're like, hang on, what can I do to make myself miserable? I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna yell at everybody about me being miserable.
But she gives me a hard time because I can't read like for fun. Like
I can't read
for
fun.
For fun, I can read for fun, but it has to be teaching me something.
I know what you mean.
I have to be learning.
Yeah.
I can't just read like she can just read like whatever, like beach books, right? Like
right.
Stories, but I need something that's like tangible and learned.
Yeah.
So
or it's like it has to be really good if it's not that.
Yeah. Okay, now the other thing I did while on the trip was I did some fruit scouting. Perhaps for next year's draft, if we were to go.
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe we do like a 4-round. We get a couple of us, we get Grant, we get Riv, we sit down around a round table. We do one episode where it's like 4 rounds of fruit, and we just get after it. So that'd be 16 pieces of fruit that have to go into the draft.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot. But here's what I did. As I mentioned, once you get to the resort that you've already paid for a month ago, it's all free. So I'm more apt to try things because if you don't like it, you didn't pay for it.
Right.
It's like whatever. So I tried some different fruits. I tried a passion fruit. Have you ever had a passion fruit?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a pumpkin.
Yeah.
It's like slimy and seeds and everything, and you're just kind of like scooping it out.
I've always heard it's not a real fruit, right? That it's like some gross hybrid, whatever. Like it's not natural.
It doesn't grow on a tree. It's it's a lab fruit.
Basically,
Interesting.
I mean, what do I don't know if that's true, but it's like
this would be a good time when we could Grant the fact checker.
Yeah, right. Seriously, but like what passion fruit. That said, it makes a lot of delightful beverages. So good by me.
Yeah, I've drank it before, but I've never like actually taken like a half.
How was it?
It's very good.
Good.
There's a little texture issue because it is like a slimy sort of thing that you're kind of digging out.
It's almost like the
seed, The first
couple bites are like gum.
Yeah, like, okay. And then I also had like a star fruit, I think it was called like Cannon or something like that. Very tart fruit, very like dense, not great.
Okay.
And then I met the pomegranate.
You've never had pomegranate before?
I've never had pomegranate before. It is amazing.
It's pretty good.
And not only that, but it's kind of like one of those super fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full of like antioxidants, protein. It reduces blood pressure. It reduces your cholesterol. In fact,
why are you pointing at me? I spent a lot of money on medications to do that for me.
Well, here's the thing. Like they actually said when I was reading about it, if you are on like blood thinners or medication for that, like they actually say like take a little bit amount of it because it could actually hurt you. It could thin the blood too much if you combine it with certain drugs or something, which I thought was like fascinating. But yeah, it's like a crazy great fruit.
Stay away from that. Like, don't need that. Don't need that.
Of course, as soon as I got back to the States, we went grocery shopping. I'm like,
right,
give me all of it.
You're like shocking.
But now I had to YouTube how to peel a pomegranate. It's like it's not easy.
No.
You're like de-seeding a fruit because it's the seeds that you want.
Yeah, I was saying people eat those seeds too.
Yeah,
my kids will be like, we got to get those, and they eat them once. Pomegranate stains like shit, man. So bad.
The Romans and the Greeks used to use it to actually dye clothing. That's how they would make like red shirts.
I thought they just used the blood of all their captors.
The blood. I was going to say something, but I don't want to offend anyone.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. You know who the blood they used, just like every other country in this world.
Yeah. Ooh, just got weird.
Anyways, it was a great trip. And well needed. You have to test negative to get back into the country. So there's some touch and go there from it. Like, it's weird. Like you don't.
I didn't even think of that. Should we be doing this show?
Well, I tested negative. I'm here. So I tested negative.
That's a good point. And you take it very serious, but I'm still going to lean away from you.
Yeah. But there's my wife took her very first COVID test ever in this whole thing at the trip. So she was a mess, she's the Jewish hypochondriac. And so took the test. She's like, I'm going to fail. I have it. I'm sure I have. One of those things. You're like, what are you talking about?
If you do, you do.
Sure enough, it was negative.
The only time I got...
there was also conspiracy going around amongst... we went with some friends, and one of them had COVID at one point in the past. They'd taken multiple tests so far. And they're like, it was kind of... They didn't go like super into your head like they usually do.
Right.
And so they're like, they're just doing it to say they're like, everyone's negative. Like, there's real no.
Because I learned it all the hard way. The first time I ever had it, like my brain was on another planet.
Right.
But yeah, they have newer tests. They don't need to go like
exactly
through your nasal passage into your lungs.
The rest of the world has way better tests than we do. Faster tests, easier tests. We had
imagine that.
Yeah, we just had our one test until I guess now. I think we've just bought like 1 billion tests. Yeah, just in time for the next wave.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, great trip, fun trip. Loved it. Good times.
Well, I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Get back. We'll get back to the grind.
I do have some plans, but like I'm not going to do them here. We'll talk about them in private. Some things that we can do.
All right.
I got to live up to my reputation of coming back from trips.
Boy,
and
can't wait. And then when we're like, oh, I forgot, you still have real life too. Yeah, right. I don't have much going on. I only have 2 small children and a new job and whatever.
Have you done a resort like that before?
No.
Man, you guys got to dump the kids next door. Give yourself 5 days and just go. And man,
we are working on
really
a trip.
nice.
I got Intern Grant's mom on the case.
That's right.
Doing some scouting for me.
Yeah, that's right.
But
then the nice thing too about this resort, we've been to this one before. The specific reason we went because everything is outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
You got some cover, but otherwise, like every meal that we ate was outside. It was normal. It wasn't like, oh, we got to make a decision. It wasn't right. That wasn't the case. So
outside,
yeah, it was great.
Free as can be.
It's great.
All right. Well, welcome back. Glad to have you.
Thanks, man.
All right. So you had a trip.
Yes.
Grant had a trip.
Yeah.
I only want to have a trip. Grant, why don't you pull up a seat right here?
Yeah, everyone needs to meet Grant.
We'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good seat.
The intern chair.
Yeah, that's what you get. Thank you for throwing those over there.
I'll get them later.
Oh, I wasn't worried about the mess. It's more the the effect. So Grant, where'd you go?
I was down in Scottsdale, Arizona this past weekend.
You don't have to lean into the microphone like this. It's okay.
So you didn't really give him a good target to talking to.
That, and we should probably
you're like
more politely introduce them too. This is Grant. We've been talking about him the last few episodes.
Yeah, and Grant, you're a new golfer, right? Are you?
What you call a COVID golfer.
Yeah, you're okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you're one of the new COVID golfers from the pandemic. And so this was your first real trip out of this area to play golf. Had you played anywhere else besides?
Yeah, so I've had a great golf year actually. I played in Mexico, I played in Hawaii, and then Scottsdale was my third.
Oh man, look at you.
Yeah, I've been busy. I got bit by the bug so hard, but Scottsdale was great. It's great when it's 80 degrees and it's 20 degrees at home.
Yeah.
So
before we talk about the specific courses though, just give your impressions of desert golf, because we tried to kind of give you a warning, like it's different, right?
It's very different. It was very apparent on the first tee box. I hit the fairway, but on the approach shot, I hit it 30 yards over the green because I just wasn't prepared for how long the ball flies with the warm weather.
Yeah.
But desert golf is really cool. Didn't spend too much time in the sand, but when I did bring the desert club, like you said, so I didn't mess up my clubs. But it was really cool. Definitely different than Midwest golfing. Yeah,
not a lot of rough.
No, little to no, and everything's really tight lies.
Yeah.
So
and it's like in season like that. It's real. It's just like super green, super tight, and then brown.
Yeah, and if you miss the
sides.
fairway, you're in the rubble, and everyone's telling you about rattlesnakes. So.
Oh yeah. That's right. Did you see any?
No, heard a few. Then there's javelinas, like small hogs out there. Didn't see any of those.
Okay.
And then we did a hike as well, and they were talking about mountain lions. Didn't see one of those.
Luckily. No, I remember being on. When I played like Quintero, we saw some sort of lizard.
Yep, saw those.
But it was more dragon.
Yeah.
It was massive.
Like some of those bearded dragons.
Yeah, it was like the size of our dogs. Like it may have been. I don't know. I wasn't going to hang out long enough to figure it out. But we saw it like, scatter right away. But yeah, terrifying. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 courses you played. Lookout.
Yeah.
Lookout Mountain. And first of all, we should give a shout out to,
I was going to say.
Yeah, to our pal that helped you.
Yeah, David was great. Emailed him, Stand By Golf, asked, hey, I've never been to Scottsdale before. I want someplace that is pretty good views, a decent price range. He immediately hooked it up with Lookout Mountain, and by far that was, I only played 2 courses, but I was blown away.
Okay.
Probably one of my favorite courses I've played thus far. 10 tee box, hit off like 140-foot mountain.
Yeah, way down, yeah.
Yeah, and it was really cool.
So 140-foot drop, how long was the hole, and how much did you have to account for the drop?
Yeah, so I think it was about like a 350 par 4.
Okay.
So not terrible. But I was just hoping to hit the fairway. I wasn't even doing too much math.
Okay, so it wasn't like a par 3 where you had to do the math for it. Okay.
Luckily, just tight fade, hit the fairway, thin my next shot OB. So I was so mad, especially on like a signature hole. You thin it OB. I was not happy with myself.
All right, so you played Lookout, and then you played
TPC Champs course.
Okay,
the sister to the Waste Management Stadium.
Yeah,
very famous. So I drove by there. It was really cool. Stands being built. And talked to a guy in a pro shop, and he said it's in early February.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to watching that. But it was a nice track. It definitely had a lot of wear and tear.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what I talked to a few guys who were local who I played within their group, and they were like, "Yeah, it's nice, gets the job done. It's the people's course."
Okay.
Which I like. I'm a municipal guy through and through. I've never even played a private club. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know
it's
any
not
different.
Like us.
Yeah.
AUF, get on that shirt. People's golfer.
But it was great. It was really cool. Totally different, like we said, about Midwest golf.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you like so much about Lookout? Was it just sort of the views of it, or was it?
So TPC was very flat.
Okay.
Not a lot of elevation change. That was the complete opposite with Lookout Mountain. You were going like this was a course that you could not walk even if you wanted to.
Right.
It would be like a stairmaster. It was uphill, downhill, cool features. But that you don't get that around here. So that's what I was looking for going to a destination to play golf.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've done Arizona golf, Hawaii golf, Mexico golf.
Yep.
Highlight of the year, was it which one was the
That is a lot of like big deal golf.
Yeah, different golf.
First year golfer.
Yeah.
And that's not fair because I live across the street from him. It's not his first year playing golf, but it's first year being a golfer.
Yeah.
Thank you. Give me both.
Yeah.
But to knock those 3 places out, I've never been to Hawaii, let alone played golf there. Yeah. Been to Mexico, didn't play golf there. Never played golf in Arizona. This is like big time golf destination, especially for golf bros. He did all 3 of them in a year, and he's a 16 handicap.
Yeah.
Boy.
To be single, with no sort of collars, we'll call it.
Yeah,
yeah,
and she rode with me, and she was a trooper.
Yeah.
Let me get out.
Just be clear about that. Let's not say things the wrong way here.
Yeah, she'll watch this and be like, "Come on."
Fair.
Yeah, no, she's been great. So she lets me get out whenever. Doesn't love it, but
Did she go with you to the other places too?
So she went with me to Lookout, and she loved it because the views and it was beautiful. Taking pictures on every tee box. That was totally her kind of setup. But I spent a little more time at TPC because I wanted to go to stadium, go to the pro shop, the locker room. So she worked a half day, and I went.
Okay.
But getting back to your point, highlight of the year. I liked Hawaii. It was really cool. You could see the literally whales from the back 9 because you're up in the mountains. Mexico, I played a Greg Norman course. Wasn't super impressed.
Yeah.
But you're in Mexico, and you're golfing like it's going to be a good time. So honestly, I would say the Scottsdale trip made it for me.
Lookout?
Yeah.
Highlight?
I think that tent tee box. Seeing a nice drive hit the fairway and you can't even see the ball, but you know it's there. It was great driving down the mountain. I'm like, I know it's there. But then, like I said, then the next shot, I was so mad.
Yeah, but you broke 90 on that course.
Yeah, I shot 89 at Lookout and 85 at TPC.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
With a few mulligans here and there, but that's kind of standard.
So a gentleman's 89 and a gentleman's 85.
Yeah.
It's illegal, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Overall, great. And
Yeah.
David was standby, was super accommodating. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait till the summer and take this guy around and show him some other joints.
Yeah. I'm pumped.
That's part of the plan that I have coming back from.
Can't wait for
Punta
this
Cana.
lecture. It should be like, oh, cool. I'm really excited about it. It's like it's almost like when your boss tells you your review's coming up. I'm like, great. Can't wait.
It'll be part. I would like us to do like if we do like in the new year, we'll have the new show, whatever new show be this show, but it'll be in other places too. But like
Yes.
just a like a goals episode.
You've been wanting to do that
Yeah.
goals episode. Yeah. All right. All right.
I'll do the goals episode. You can just shut up. Grant and I'll do the goals episode.
Grant's got some work to do. Let's get that camera going, huh?
All right. Do you want to talk to him? Oh, all right.
Yeah, go check the cameras, Grant.
Okay.
Get out of here.
Back in my bucket.
Grant, ladies and gentlemen.
What you don't see off camera, Grant switches from a 5-gallon bucket between a retro, like probably 1950s metal stool and maybe like a 1970s vinyl padded stool.
If we had another one of those, that's what we'd be using on this show. Right
Yeah,
now,
that's
I
in my
can tell you.
grandma's basement when she moved out of her house.
Yeah.
It's like, Grandma, can I get the stool from my garage? She said, yes. And one time
Thanks, Grams.
Shout out Grams on Dawson's Creek. Yeah, so also Grant and I played golf yesterday. I want to apologize in
You
advance.
played yesterday?
I thought,
It was like 50 mile per hour winds.
We'll get to that. I would have invited you, but I in my head, I was positive when we made our tea time, especially, I was positive you were coming home yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have been able to. There's no
There
way.
was also that, I figured. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I will let him get assimilated. So anyway, the forecast was looking like, hey, Saturday it's going to be 55 degrees.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, when we landed on Friday night, it was 60.
it was
Crazy.
55 degrees on Saturday at 2 a.m.
Right.
And it dropped about 25 degrees. We got woken up in our bedroom at like 4. I mean, I did one of these in bed. My wife's like, what? I go, the hell was that? And I'm like looking out the windows and don't see anything. She's like, oh, it might have been thunder. I heard like we might get a thunderstorm or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, do you think that's what it was? I'm like, it was loud, whatever it was that woke us up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And I'm looking and it's just windy as shit. Like, it's so windy outside. And I go, I'm in, shorts and a t-shirt. I'm like, I don't know. What if I have like, a tree through my roof right now?
Right.
I'd like to know.
Or a sign through the car windshield or who knows.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go outside 4 a.m. and I'm warm. I was like, wait, it's supposed to be warm at like noon today. And it's super windy, and I look up, and sure enough, there's a huge tree branch that just came down right on the roof, like right above our bed.
Wow.
Not like it was going to come, not big in the
not
sense it's
heavy
going to
enough.
come through.
Right, sure.
I was like, God, well, I'm up, I'm getting old, especially with like the health things. It's like, I'm not going back to sleep. So I go check my phone, like, what's the weather? Like this wind, I didn't know it was going to be this windy. This is going to be tough to golf in because it's 60 degrees but windy.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh no, by noon, it's taking this huge drop. It's going to be like 35 degrees.
Right.
And the wind is here until like
Still
1.
windy. Right.
So we teed off maybe like 12:30, and it was like it wasn't unplayable wind, but it was significant. Like you may have had a 7 club wind at some point. It was insane, but wasn't warm, wasn't comfortable, but at the same time,
Did you walk?
yeah,
Did you really? Well, at least that
that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to Grant and my buddy John that we played with, not John Heisey of Driving Trails, but my other friend John.
Okay.
We were like, I just keep reminding myself, When I was Grant's age, this would have been nothing. I'm like, I'll play 36 today.
Yeah.
And I mean, I used to play golf in like 18-degree weather. If they let me out, I'd play. Just so happy to play.
Yeah.
So I kept saying, guys, it's December 11th, and we're golfing. Course, we played St. Andrews, West Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Our favorite winter and spring course.
100%.
Shockingly good condition.
Really?
The greens were great. Pure, clean, not too many craters because no one's playing golf. Right. Rolling through a little slow, but that's fine.
Sure, a little grown out.
And wind stopping your ball, for sure. But really, really good condition. It was tons of fun. It was a lot of fun. Is it ideal playing conditions? Absolutely not.
I know this week it's supposed to get up back into the 60s, but I'll be curious to see what that means. Like 60 at like 4 a.m. or 60 in like actual normal times or what?
Well, and then, I'm not trying to make light of it, but I was thinking like, God, with these 30-degree swings, we're going to get tornadoes and stuff.
Sure enough.
Yeah, sure enough, the whole thing sweeps. While we were golfing, I got an email from Emma from Scott Redmond Concepts in England. She's like, hey, are you guys all safe? I didn't know about the tornadoes. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, Illinois got hit with these really bad tornadoes.
Yeah.
What? I'm like, you got to understand, Illinois, north to south, is like the size of your country.
I was going to say Illinois is the size of
So I go, yeah, no, that wasn't biased. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. Then I start looking into it, and it's really bad.
Yeah, man, it was rough down there.
But these
Kentucky,
30-degree swings, these winds, I feel like at this point, bring the snow to just get us into winter and
calm everything.
Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, it was fun. Shocking. You think our first year COVID golfer here?
Yeah,
these were. I mean, dude, I hit some pretty terrible shots, but I hit some pretty good shots too because I know how to play the wind. I've done this before, whatever.
Right.
Our group played all things considered. I mean, no one broke any course records or personal records, but astoundingly well.
Yeah, considering the conditions. Yeah,
yeah. Chad's best 9 of the year.
Yeah, there you go.
40 on the front.
Man, nice job.
Yeah.
Sometimes that weather, piece of it will
sort of
help with concentration.
Yeah. You don't screw around as much. You don't get lackadaisical. You're like, I just need to figure out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tons of fun. Am I missing anything about it? This thing covers it. I will say, I don't like the second course there, the Lakewood course. I don't
think we've ever played the Lakewood course.
No, you shouldn't. It's not good. And as I said to them, to Grant and John, I will tell anybody who works here straight to their face, the second course isn't good. It needs help. So the bartender goes, because we're waiting, to get out. The bartender's like, oh, I like the second course better. And I'm like, you're crazy. He goes, nah, if you like the first better, you just like the easier course. And then of course I'm like, oh, you got me. Like, I'm just like, okay, bro. No, second course sucks. Are there a few good holes on it? Yes. Are there like 6 to 7 horrible holes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you just like the easier course.
Yeah. And that's where I start.
Guy. All right.
Well, and then I'm like, oh, are you on tour? Are you? Right. What's your handicap, pal?
Right.
Hey, what's the easy course? Like what? So what's your course record here, huh? So yeah, it was fun. I don't know, man. What else do you want to cover? Do we want to do any TV talk, or you just want to wrap her up?
No, we can wrap it up. I think that's a pretty good episode.
Got a lot. We covered a lot. We're back.
It's always good to have the golf on the back end of a golf show. I always
we were golf trip. This was a golfy episode, believe it or not.
It kind of was. It ended up being. We didn't start that way, but
yeah.
I guess we did the Byron stuff. That's golf.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks. Like, I'm so
sorry to bring it back up.
Well, it's like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh,
it's not a family member, but
right?
It's more impactful.
I hate when people do that. By the way, I had a buddy. Let's just say I had a buddy. Do you remember when the KHL plane went down and killed it was one of the entire KHL hockey teams died in Russia?
Yes.
Maybe 2010, give or take.
Yeah.
There were like 2 former Red Wings players on it. My buddy was a big Red Wings fan, and the morning to the point where it was like I almost thought it was insulting. like the mourning and grieving he was going through over this. And I was like, what am I going to do when one of your family members dies?
Right.
Like, I this is how you need support right now. I can't do this. Like it just it makes
it's
me so
not
upset.
that, but it's
so I'm
still
not, I'm not
significant.
but like,
right.
Oh my God. It's just one of those, hey, you know, life is short kind of thing. But like one of the constants of everything I love about like the golf gear hobby and cool golf gear. So it just sucks. What are you going to do? I don't know how to properly talk about it on the golf show and be authentic, you know?
Yeah. What do you have on the website these days?
So
we've got that store. We got that post.
Got that post. Yep. We, we have a review on a new putting mat. You can go check that out. But
who wrote the review on the putting mat?
No, this one's mine.
Oh, okay.
So the other one's in the works.
Okay.
This is where I made a reference earlier about like, hey, let's get that camera working. Okay. But I got a post up this week as you're watching this. The Clean Flight personal golf ball washer.
One of our favorites. Oh, I don't have it here today.
Got one hanging over there.
Oh yeah.
But godsend.
In this, for sure.
Because we also had a bunch of rain come through, and you know the permafrost melting and all that. So Clean Flight was a godsend, and it's a winter, so none of the ball washers are out there. But that thing's great. So it deserved a full post on it. So check that out.
Okay.
Big gear review though. The sub 70 949 X fairway wood. I was thinking maybe I should have brought that out here for a gear talk, but that's all right. We'll do it. But really nice little fairway wood. Check that out.
Okay.
Shocking. Really good deal. Right. Great value.
Right. They continue their streak.
Chris, what do you have to plug?
We had our first gear talk that is out there now. We have Noel, our pal from Srixon, Cleveland, Zegzio,
A6.
The Golf Origin Stories interview that's out there. And I think today, my pal Andy Fry, who writes for Forbes, his interview dropped today.
That's a good one. That one I remember. It's one of the handful that I listened to. That's a good one.
He's a fun dude. He was a guy that he's not a journalist, doesn't have a degree in journalism. He got fired from his job in the Loop, and he's like, you know what? Screw this. And he went and wrote for like Rolling Stone and ESPN and Chicago Tribune and all these different people, and now that's what he does.
It's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Noel's like girl golf boss goat. She's the best.
It's true. She's probably, I mean, for me, I know you have a long list of golf
knock it off.
Friends
you take it easy over
acquaintances and relationships, but she's probably one of she's got to be top 3 in my golf meets. You know what I mean? Like the people that interact with. She's very awesome.
And I like it because she's very real and authentic.
Yeah, always. No matter what. Like I've legit had like conversations with her about things that, like you do, you know, that aren't necessarily related to golf or just kind of advice about how I could advance, you know, the brand or whatever.
She talks to you like a normal person, not just like the golf intermediary. You know what I mean? Right. And that I really appreciate about her. Right. And she's great. All right. A lot of things to check out. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell.
Yeah.
Give a thumbs up. Hey, maybe leave a comment below. Welcome Chris back. And
thanks. And we'll put anyone that wants to go to Arizona, we'll put the standby golf info in the notes too.
All right. That's at Chris McEwen. On all the social medias, this is his YouTube channel. I'm Bill Bush of DriveRangeHeroes.com. You can check me out at Range Heroes on Instagram, Twitter, all the things. That was episode 97. We'll see you next time.